Good afternoon, guys. It is July 30th, 2025. On this video here, I want to talk about something about autism. Now, this is one thing that I personally have experience with, and there's a lot of misconceptions about autism that I just want to address. First of all, I think people misunderstand and they think that autism is such a horrible disease, like it's some virus or cancer or something. And that's just not the case. What it is those with autism, our brains are wired differently. I personally have high functioning intellectual autism. And it's just not the case. Now, are there some severe cases out there where there are non-verbal, non-functioning people with autism? Absolutely. There's absolutely those cases. And I'm not saying that those cases aren't bad. You know, there are cases that are pretty severe, and I can understand that. But I've been seeing a lot of things out there in the news, on the internet, all this stuff. And people keep saying, oh, well, autism is caused by this, autism is caused by that, autism is this, autism is that, that's bad, this is bad, this is... Listen. No, I don't wish for us to create more autism in children and in people, because autism does affect adults. Children with autism become adults with autism. I was not diagnosed with autism until I was 18, and I'm 26 now. So, but basically, like, people are, like, so hyper into this idea that, oh, we need to find a cure, we need to find this, we need to do this, we need to do that. When autism really has very little to do with anything. Now, here's my perspective, honestly. Now, I am somebody who not only deals with autism, but I deal with cerebral palsy, which is, I have hypertension, cerebral palsy. So basically, everything is super tight. Everything is always tense, and it makes it hard for me to do certain activities. I'm not quite as mobile as the average person. Though I am very functional, I do have a lot of challenges. So, honestly, if I had a choice between dealing with autism and dealing with cerebral palsy, I would choose autism. Autism is small potatoes compared to the cerebral palsy for me. It really is. It's small potatoes. What really irritates me with dealing with this is I have both a cognitive and physical disability. And it's very difficult to find things that accommodate me, that I actually am passionate about and that I want to do in terms of looking in the workforce. So, for instance, I have a whole lot of interest in a lot of the trades: handyman work, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, appliance repair. You know, all of these things, janitorial, all of these things. But my body will limit how much of that I can do. severely limit that. But anything that I can do physically, office work at a desk, working on a computer, doing all that stuff, my brain just cannot tolerate. I'm not gifted in that area. I have no interest in that area. I'm completely burned out. My mind gets overwhelmed and just completely shuts down. So, yeah. So that's why I say I would much rather deal with the autism than the cerebral palsy. And there's a lot of misconceptions about it. And honestly, it's really getting irritating because people are saying, well, it's just increasing, it's just increasing, it's just increasing. Well, honestly, like, our medical system has gotten so good at finding certain conditions and things that we're just now finding out more. I believe. Now, do I believe there are things that are a mess in our medical system? Absolutely. I do think that there's a lot of pharmaceutical things that are kind of a mess. I believe that there are things that are not good for people. Absolutely. But I don't think that's the whole story. So I think it's not so much that autism is increasing, it's more so that we're just finding more cases. The spectrum has broadened quite a bit. It used to be like, in order to qualify for the autism label, you'd have to be pretty severely out of whack. So that's just something that I'm noticing now. Like I said, autism is not all bad. There are some traits in autistics that most people wouldn't really understand. And, some of us were very organized and very detailed on getting stuff done. We actually want to get stuff done the right way. We don't want to be lazy. We don't want to just sit around and do the bare minimum and just blow stuff off. We actually want to get out there and we want to get stuff done. Now, I'm not saying that for everybody, but I'm speaking from my own personal experience. And so, one thing for me is numbers and dates stick in my head all the time. As soon as I know what day something was done, I pretty much have it stuck in my head. Not for everything, but a lot of things. Especially major events in my life, like, the day I had a surgery, the day that we moved into a house, the year a house was built, all of that stuff. So my mind can go back into that. I can even go back to days as far back as like 15, 20 years on the dot. So, and apparently most people can't do that. I was not aware of that. I just thought, well, yeah, you just remember the date and time, and that's what, yeah. So, there are some things that are positive about it. Now, are there challenges with autism? Absolutely. There's a lot of cognitive challenges and a lot of challenges with functioning in life that we have to navigate. But, like I said, as somebody with cerebral palsy as well, honestly, the cerebral palsy is more concerning to me than the autism will ever be. The autism is just a small thing. The cerebral palsy causes more issues for me in terms of being able to work jobs that I want to work and do things that I want to do. It limits me tremendously. So yeah, so I just wanted to talk about that because that is a common thing that I'm seeing, and people are freaking out about, like, oh, autism is caused by this, autism is caused by that, autism is this, autism is that, autism is not good, oh, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, people need to just calm down and look at how autism is actually affecting people. Now, like I said, there are more severe cases that are truly a problem and a huge challenge for people. I understand that. I am not talking about those situations. I am talking about the functional people on the autism spectrum. Why are we freaking out about them? Why are we freaking out that, oh, this is causing this problem and stuff? We just operate differently. We learn differently. For me, a classroom environment is not what works for me. I cannot be in a public school and sit in a classroom and absorb information. What do I need? I need visual stuff. I'm a very, very visual learner. So what does that mean? I need video. I need in front of me, hands-on, doing physical tasks. That's what I need. I don't need all this textbook stuff and these, words that are just shot out there at me. That doesn't work for me. That does not work for me. It may work for you, and if it does, that's great. More power to you. I'm happy for you. I kind of wish that I was that way, but I'm not. It's very different. So, those are just some things that I wanted to touch on and to talk about, and hopefully clear some things up and bring some people some awareness. Because like I said, I'm seeing it all over social media. I'm seeing it all over the news. People are just freaking out about this stuff. And they're like, well, this is causing autism. Where's a cure? What's doing this? What's doing that? I have nothing wrong with us trying to figure out what's causing it. But we shouldn't look down on it as being the worst possible thing on the planet. There are conditions that are far worse. There are people, like I said, cerebral palsy, very hard to function in life. There are people with epilepsy. There are people with autoimmune diseases. There are people with all these other things that we could spend a whole lot of time trying to figure out, because those things really do have a major impact on their life. But autism is such a minute thing for most of us. Not all of us, but for most of us, it's a pretty minute thing. So, anyway, I'll get off my soapbox here. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.